So this is the only place in my apartment currently getting sun because I decided to stack all my boxes against my window like a genius. I am moving to Melbourne for the show, for Phantom. This was always part of the contract. The show was always going to start in Sydney and go to Melbourne. It is very common, especially in Australia, for shows to tour between major cities. Please tell me how you say the word tour, because it is one of the words that I feel like I have said wrong my entire life, and none of the ways I think it's said feel right. So please, someone let me know if I'm saying it right. Also, I'm probably going to stop saying it because the more I say it, the worse it sounds. Yes, moving for the show because the duration of the show run changes cities. So that reason, also combined with the fact that I own so few things, I don't have a lot of possessions, I decided to take all of my stuff and to move out of this apartment. That gives me a lot of feels. This apartment has been my first kind of home as an adult. It's the first place I've ever lived by myself. There is a lot of growing that happens when you live alone that I didn't expect and that I'm very grateful for. It's tiny, like it's a glorified bedroom with a bathroom and a kitchen, and that's it. But it has been my favorite thing that I've ever done for myself is have this place. You know, it wasn't on the cards, it just kind of happened. The end of 2019, I moved out of the place that I was living, dissolved my entire life at that point really, and started to go touring for like festival work. I planned to do the Fringe circuit. I knew what my next year looked like, and then I could either rinse and repeat or take up other options. That was the end of 2019. We all know what happened at the start of 2020, so that never exactly happened the way I wanted it to. I got this place. It is, like I said, my favorite thing I've ever done for myself, and I'm actually really sad to be leaving it. I have a lot of really beautiful memories here. I have a lot of very hard memories here as well. And even though I'm ready for something new, I'm ready for a bigger apartment first of all, I'm ready for new cities, I'm ready for new experiences, I'm ready to not be a long distance from my partner for a little bit. I am really going to miss this place, and it has been really, really bittersweet packing it down. My first task, which is the largest and also the easiest, is to pack down my bookshelves, which makes me sad because I feel like it'll make it like real that I'm leaving this place, which I'm sure I've done some kind of big emotional intro before this because of who I am as a person. But this apartment means a lot to me, and I don't think it's really hit me the fact that I'm leaving. I think especially because I'm so excited for what I'm moving into. This is one of the bookshelves. It's got like all of my Harry Potter stuff on it, which this was set up like 3 years ago. I will probably use it for something else and rearrange that. This is one of my other bookshelves. Then I've got another one here. And then I have these two, which are interrupted by that fan, that have got like books, show stuff that I need to get framed, show stuff, knickknacks, vinyls, my record player. This one as well can come down if I have enough boxes, but I'm going to start with my books. Today I have to go get a couple more boxes and some bubble wrap from Officeworks, which is just down the road, to wrap up. I have a lot of shelves like this. I have a lot of shelves like this one, where the bottom couple of shelves are metal and the top ones are glass. I also have this big old mirror that I have to transport to, and I'm really nervous about putting those in the truck tomorrow. We will do what we can. Other than that, there's just a few little like last minute knickknacks that I have to pack down, and there's a bunch of stuff that I have to get rid of. Tomorrow morning, I've got a truck coming to get all of my boxes and furniture. My mum and my nephews and niece are coming to help me tomorrow, which will be really cute. So I've just got to make sure that things aren't going to get broken. This video partially serves as, you know, a documentation of this experience for me, and also of, you know, an opportunity to chat about moving away for work, which is stuff that I never thought about before I started working. And this is the first time I'm doing that for theatre anyway. So we'll be learning together. Exciting updates about moving is that today we got contacted by a landlord who has offered us a place. But oh boy, does having an actual place locked in relieve a lot of the stress of the move, because knowing where you're going is a big old help. A huge perk that I have in this move is that I am moving in with Ty. He's already in Melbourne, so he's been able to go to inspections and look around and things. There is accommodation offered to me by the show for the duration of the season, which is a real bougie time. I have only ever traveled for work, for touring and fringe festivals, and when you're doing festival work, it's like you get the application, but unless you are working for like a fancy schmancy producer, if you're working for the actual festival, that stuff is not sorted for you. You've got to sort it out on your own. You have to travel there at your own cost and own time. You've got to find somewhere to live, pay for it out of your own pocket, that kind of thing. Whereas in professional theatre world, everything has to be done like to the book. When you're on a show that travels, they hire you with an understanding of what is your location, what is your home base. And I'll use my current situation as an example because it's the only example I have. So I was hired on to Phantom as a Sydney local, meaning that when I tour with the show, when we're in Melbourne, I will be away from home, which means that they supply me with a living allowance or a place to live. The place that they supply you to live will often be a service 1-bedroom apartment near the theatre. I think it has to be within 15 minutes public transport or walking distance to the theatre. I was always told that, but I know people who've been put up in places that are a little bit further away, so I don't know how correct that is. Anyone who does know, please correct me. And then on top of that, you will get a meal allowance and like an incidence allowance. Those might not be the exact names, but it's like those 2 meals and incidents and the living allowance. Because I'm Sydney based and I'm going to Melbourne for the show, I will be getting the living allowance as well. You know, I say I'm moving, but I'm only going for the duration of the show. It just so happens that I have so little things that I'm just taking them all with me. I will be back in Sydney, if not immediately after the show run, a couple months after, depending on whether I do this festival that I want to do or not. But Sydney is definitely home for me, at least for right now in my life. The living allowance, meal allowance, and incident allowance for working away from home end up being around $1,000 a week on top of your normal pay, which is pretty damn cool. Again, these are the kind of things that people don't really talk about in the industry. People are weird talking about money. I don't feel particularly weird talking about money. I really would have appreciated some transparency in this area when I started working, because I really had to dig for these answers because no one really wanted to talk about it, which I found quite frustrating.
Update incoming. Our lease will begin on Monday next week, and because I said I'm keen to move in a little bit earlier if possible.
I'm pretty much packed up. I went through the kitchen drawer, I went through the bathroom, I went through the lockers that I've got, and I've got everything that I need. I really just need to pack away my air fryer, which is soaking right now because it was gross. All of these boxes, that's all my stuff except for like these bits of furniture, but they're all empty. It's very weird. I'm going to go have some dinner with my friend Sam. This is very spooky. Then I'm going to come back and do some laundry while I pack up. Got to wrap up my mirror and the blankies I've got. And the truck comes tomorrow morning. Lease has been signed. Lease is all sorted. We have a place. It's all good to go. It's currently like 10:30, 11. I'm very, very, very glad that we locked in the new apartment, signed the new lease today. Otherwise, I think I'd be having some intense feels, leaving this place and not knowing what I'm going on to next. So I'm very glad that we did that.